Are you and your spouse missing the most important part when planning your budget? You see, most couples will dive into budgeting apps, spreadsheets, or fixing the problem, but when things fall apart, they don't actually stop to ask why. The truth is, it's not about the budget. It's not even about how much you make, because no budget can fix misalignment in a marriage. If your plan doesn't reflect your shared values, shared goals, or clearly define who does what, then it's just numbers on a page. And that's why it never feels like it's your budget as a couple, and it feels like one of you is just doing all the work. My name's Johnny Mendoza, and I help married couples align their money with their values. In this video, I'll show you the number one thing that most couples skip when building their budget. Then I'll show you how to create one that actually works because it reflects both of you. Imagine how much easier life would be if both you and your spouse were on the same plan, same budget, had the same goals, had the same vision. You both know who's doing what, when you're doing things, why you're doing things. And it's less of like trying to figure out how to make this work. How do I get my partner on board? And more so like, how do we actually make our dreams come true? Well, the number one thing that you're probably missing before you start getting into budgeting and numbers is actually being in alignment. So we're going to go over 3 foundational pieces to create that alignment first. The first foundation for alignment is actually your values. Like, what are your values as a couple? What are your values as an individual? You know, those are things that you want to share with each other to get in alignment with each other. So you want to have this conversation with your spouse on what do we as a couple have our values in. Is it going to be freedom of time, location? Is it, you know, investing in and taking care of your kids, raising a family? Like, are we a family first, work second type of household? Are we personal development type of couple? Are we health and wellness, health and fitness? Whatever it is, you want to share that with your partner and then make sure that you're on the same page with most of those things before you start talking about budget. Because if one of you values health, fitness, family, and the other person values, you know, going to vacations more so than anything else, you want to know what these priorities are for both of you. And if you want a worksheet that can help you work through your values and the other things that we're going to talk about in this video, just go ahead and click the link down below. You can download this worksheet. The second foundation is built on top of your values, and this is your shared goals and your financial priorities. The, you know, money at the end of the day is a tool, and the job that you have, the way that you produce your income, I should say, that's a separate conversation as far as like priorities and fulfillment. But the money itself is a tool that you use in your life. You know, you guys decide on how you want to spend your money. So you want to get goals that you both have, that you both want to hit, and decide where, you know, where your priorities are, whether you have, you know, 100% completely combined finances, or you have separate finances and also shared accounts that go towards those shared goals. You want to define, you know, what do we want to spend our money on? Is it our kids? Is it, you know, time freedom? Is it growing as a couple, growing as individuals? Is it buying a house, you know, our retirement, whatever it is? You want to define, you know, specific long-term goals and also have kind of like a priority list of, hey, you know, if we have to choose between A and B, you know, we as a couple both separately and individually choose A because that is in alignment with our values that we discuss with each other. The last foundation for alignment is financial role clarity. So you want to know which one of you is doing what and what your responsibilities are. The very first thing that you want to define is, are you both in the game playing, you know, having an active role in your financial future? Or is one of you like the quarterback in the game playing and the other one's the cheerleader that's on the side and supporting, you know, the quarterback? So that's the first thing that you want to decide. And then the next thing is you want to decide who's doing what, like who's paying all the bills, who's tracking the finances, who's doing the budgeting and the planning, etc. You want to write out like everything that you're currently doing related to your financial game plan or lack thereof. And you want to decide, you know, equal responsibilities that you both agree on. Now, these conversations may not go, you know, very smooth the first time around, but when you're having these conversations regularly, you're talking about your values, you're talking about your goals, and you're deciding on who's doing what. You know, if you look 1 week, 2 weeks, you know, a couple months down the road, you're going to be a completely different couple. Imagine how much different life would be for you both if you actually started opening up these conversations and started working on getting on the same page. Now, if you've never had these type of conversations before, or you're avoiding money conversations to keep the peace, or you only talk about your finances when there's a problem and you want help bringing up these conversations, I actually made a video last week that talks about identifying the right time and right place to bring up conversations. So I'll go ahead and link this here somewhere. I still got to figure out how to do that. But I'll link it up somewhere above so you can check out that video. And next week, I'll show you how to turn this alignment into weekly communication through money dates, so that way you can keep having these conversations, work through them, and grow as a couple. So make sure to subscribe if you want to check that out. And also don't forget to get the couples alignment worksheet down below. That'll help you work through your values, shared goals, and financial priorities, as well as clearly defining who does what. All right, I'll see you in the next one.